Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Let us enjoy some chanting and an abbreviated Gongyo together. And we'll just make it happen as we go, shan't we? All right. Thank you all for being here. And here we go. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Renge Kyo Namo Myoho 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 Renge Kyo, 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 Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Kyo Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Gekyo Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Renge Kyo Namo Myoho 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 Renge Kyo Renge Kyo Namo Myoho 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 Renge Kyo Myoho Renge Kyo Namo 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 Myoho Myoho Renge Kyo Namo 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 Myoho Horenge Kyo Namo Myoho Renge 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 Kyo Gekyo Namo Myoho Renge Kyo 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 Gekyo Namo Myoho Renge Kyo 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 Renge Kyo Namo Myoho 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 Horenge Kyo Namo Myoho Renge 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 Kyo Namo Myoho Myoho Renge Kyo Namo 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 Myoho Myoho Renge Kyo Namo 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 Myoho Renge Kyo Renge ko namo myoho 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 renge ko Horenge ko namo myoho renge 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 ko Myoho renge ko namo 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 myoho renge kyo, 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 namo myoho renge kyo. Namo myoho renge kyo, 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 namo myoho renge kyo. Namo myoho renge kyo, namo myoho renge kyo, namo myoho renge kyo, namo myoho renge kyo, namo myoho renge kyo. Myoho renge kyo, myoho renge kyo, myoho renge kyo. Myoho renge kyo. Ho ben pondai ni ni ji se san ju san mai an jo ni ki go shari hachi shobu chi e jin jin bu yo. Go chi e man nan ge nan yu i sai sho man yakashi butsu sho fu no chi cho i shaga butsu zo sen gan yakasen man nakamu shu sho butsu jin yo cho butsu. Mo yo do ho yum yo sho jin yo sho fu man jo ju jin jin mi zo u ho zui gi sho setsu i shu nange shari hachu go ju jo butsu i rai. Shu ju i nen shu ju hi yu ko en gong kyo mu shu ho ben indo shu jo ryo ri sho shaku. So we shaga nyorai ho ben chiken haramitsu kai igu sokusari hotsu nyorai chiken kodai jinna murya muge riki musho isen joge da sammai jinyu musai joju isai mizo uho shari hotsu nyorai no Shuju fum betsu gyo se sho ho ganji nunan eka shushin shari hotsu shuyo ganji muhen miso uho butsu shi sorry Bu shitsu joju shi shari hotsu fushu bu setsu sho wi shaga bu sho joju dai ichike u nange chi ho yui butsu yo butsu nai no chu nai no kujin cho ho ji so sho wi sho ho nyoze so nyoze sho nyoze tai nyoze riki nyoze sa nyoze in nyoze en nyoze ka Nyoze hon ma kukyo to sho wi sho ho nyoze so nyoze sho nyoze dai nyoze riki nyoze sa nyoze in nyoze en nyoze ka nyoze ho nyoze hon ma kukyo to sho wi sho ho nyoze so nyoze sho Nyoze tai nyoze riki nyoze sa nyoze in nyoze en nyoze ka nyoze ho nyoze hon ma kukyo to Myoho renge kyo no rai ju yo han dai ju raga ni ji butsu go cho bo Shobo Satsugyu Isai Dai Shu Shosen Nanchi Nyoto To Shinge Nyorai Jo Dai Shi Go Bu Go Dai Shu Nyoto To Shinge Nyorai Jo Dai Shi Go Ubu Go Sho Dai Shu Nyoto To Shinge Nyorai Jo Dai Shi Go Zeji Bo Satsu Dai Shu Miraku Ishu Gasho Butch Gasho butcher Gasho byaku butsu gon se son yui gan se shi gato to shinju butsu go Nyo ze shan byaka ibu gan yui gan se shi ga to to shinju butsu go ni ji se son. Chi sho butsu. Chi so bo satsu san sho fu shi ni go shi gan yo to tai cho. Nyo rai hi mitsu jinzu shiriki isai se kente ningyu. Ashura kai I kon shakamone butcher shu chakajigu ko gaya jo fu on zej. Zao dojo toku a nokutara samyaka sambodai nenzen nanchi gaji do butsu irai. Muryan muhen yakusen man noko na yuta ko hinyo go yakusen man noko na yuta asogi sansenda. Sanzendai sensei kai keshi unin machi mijin ka otobo go yakusen man noko na yuta asogi kokunai ge ichijin. Nyoze togyo jinze mijin sozen nanchi yoi yunga ha. Ze shose kai ka tokoshi yui kyo kei chigo. Chufu mi rako sato kubaka butcha ganse sonze shose kai. Muryo muhen hi sanju shochi yakoshin. Hi sanju shochi yakuhi shin rikisho. Gyu isai shoman yakashi butsu imuro chi funo chi uichi go genshu. Gato ju ayoyo chi ji oze chi chu yakusho fuda se son yoze shose kai. Muryo muhen ni ji butsu go daibo sa shu shozen nanchi konto fumyo. Sengyo nyoto se sho se ka nyaka chaka mi jin gyu fu chaka sha jin ni I jin. Ichi jin iko gajo buto irai buka oshi yakusen man noko na yuta asogi ko. Chiju serai gajo zai shi shaba sekai seppo kyo ke yaku oyo sho yakusen man noko na yuta asogi koku. Dori chujo chosen nanchi oze chugen. Gasatsunendo buto ubu gango nyu one han nyoze kai ho ben fum beche sozen nanchi. Nyaku ushujo daishi gai sho gash I butsu gen kango shinto sho kanri dan tsu sho odo sho choji sechimyo ji fudo. Nenki dai sho yakabu gengon to nyu ne han u I chuju ho ben setsumim yo ho no yo chujo ko. Hokangi shinso sen nanchin yorai kenjo chujo gyo oshobo. Tokuhaku jusa izenin setsugasho suke tokuwa nokutara samyaku sambodai. Nenga jijo buto irai kuon yakushi tani hoben kyoke chujo ryonyu buto do sanyo ze setsu. Shozen nanchi nyorai ko. Nyorai shok en kyoden kai doda shujo wakuseko shin wakuseta shin wakujiko shin wakujita shin. Wakuji koji wakuji taji shoujo gan setsukai jita fuko shoi shaga nyorai nyoji chiken. Sangai shiso mu shoji nyakotai nyakashakatsu. Nyakotai nyakashitsu. Yakomuzai se gyu mechidosha hijitsu hiko hinyo hi. Funyo sangai kenno sangai nyoshi chiji nyorai nyoken mu shakamyo isho jujo ushu jusho shuju yokushuju gyo shuju okuso. Funbeko yokoryosho so sengan inyakan inen hiyu ganji suzu seppo shosa buchuji mizo zampai nyoze ga jo butsu irai jindai ku on jumyo muryo asogi ko joju fumetsu shozen nanchi ga hongyo bo satsudo chojo jumyo konyu mi jinbu bai joshu nenkon hijito metsu do ni ben shogun Toshu metsudo nyorai ise hoben kyoke shujo choi shaga nyakabuku ju ose. Hakatoka shinin fushu sengan bengu gesen tonjakago yokanyu o okazo ma. Myo moken mo chu nyaken nyorai jozai fu metsu benki kyoshi ni e endai. Funo sho o nanzo shiso zo Kugyo shi shinze koro nyorai iho ben setomi kutochi shobu se nanka chigu Sho ichaga sho hyakatoku Sho ishaga sho hyakatoku ninka muryo hyakusen mano ko waka uken batafuka fuken sha Ishiji kogasa zegon chobi kun yorai nanka token shishu choto monyo zego hito sho o nanzo shiso shinne rembo katsugo o butsu benshu sengan zeko nyorai zuifu jitsu metsu nigan metsudo uzen nanchi sho butsu nyorai Hokai nyoze ido chujo kai jitsu go hinyoro ichi e so zatsu myoren ho yaku zenchi shubyo gonin ta shoshi soku nyaku ju myoren ho yaku zenchi shubyo gonin ta shoshi shoku nyaku ju ni ju naichi yaku shu Iuji en on shi yoko shoshi ogo onta doko yako yako hotsumon ran en den nuji zeji gobu genrai kike shoshi on doko waka shita honshin waka fushi sha yoken gobu kaidai kangi haiki monzin Zennan non ki gato guchi go boko daka yaka genken kuryo kyochi chumyo buken shito kuno nyoze Esho kyobo guko yakuso shikiko mimi kaisitsu kusokutoshi wago Yoshi ryo buku nisa segan chidairo yakushikiko mimi kaisitsu kusokunyoto ka buku Sakajoku no mubu chugen go shochi chu fushi shinja kenchiro yakushiki gogu ko sakuben bukushi byojin yoyu yoshi shinja kengo burai suyakangi monjingu shakajibyo nenyo go yakuni fuko bukusho ishaga Doke jinyu shippanchinko oshiko shikiko yakuni ifumi busa zenen shishi kamin idoka shochu shinkai tendo suigengaki kusha kuryo nyoze ko yaku nifuko buku gakonto setsa hoben ro buku si yaku Sokusa ze ganyo to chi ga konsuiro chi iji ze koro yaku konru zai shi nyoka bu nyoka shu buku motofu Sokusa ze ganyo to chi ga konsuiro chi ichi ze koro yaku konru zai shi Nyoka shubukamotsu fusai zaze kyo ibushi ta koku kenshi gengo nyobu ishi zeji shoshi monbu hai shoshin dai uno. Nisa zenen yakabuzai shaji minga to no kenkujo kongasa kugu konja saga 音素多国自由ころ無無自己上へ悲観珍追称号内知知役四季公耳即修福祉毒病海有語部門死失地特裁新弁来期原始原始朝鮮難知おい運がは運人のせ白い子も財布放茶生産物願が薬尿税成仏以来無料無変百千万なくなゆた遊ぎ行為修上行為法弁力根と滅度薬無の尿法性尿法節が公も他者に自生産薬重戦四季に節下願自が特部来小教小公衆無料百千万の草や葬儀上世法狂気無臭悪臭少量入王仏道二来無料行移動中上行法弁言内反にじて不滅道成就し世法語者が成就をし一生人数歴両天道中上周囲願に不見周見が滅道航空量者利限界永連邦二小結合新修上近親牧師地域犬難一心要見仏富士着人名自我牛収束出老重戦が自我中上常在地不滅異法弁理高原無滅不滅陽国宇宙上空行し空行信業者が無王非中意説無情報尿と不満地谷が滅道が顕著中上没在王空海幸福意因心両語小活語因果心連邦内出異世法人数力尿税大遊戯行調査路重戦牛所修上健康人大課長長寺が地道安穏天人上10万恩人衝動各中重法長願法重大経過修上長有楽商天学天空上査主義学万だらけ三部九大衆が浄土不起二種権精進不職業尿税出10万税詳細修上意悪語意念下遊戯行不満三本明朝宇宙空毒入和七時期差総会見外心在心に世法ワクチン意思修説仏十無や空内見武者意説仏難知が自力尿税栄光長無用順妙無修国修合小特尿と内者もとし長義東山の用心仏語実不公尿以前法弁維持おしこ実在に願し無の成功も外役異性部下空想空言者異万部天道実在に願滅異条件が公二小教師新法一弱合力だお悪道中華上智中上行道不行道随要超過道一切中重法埋死座前年以下領中上特入無常道即上十部心南無妙法蓮華経南無妙法蓮華経南 Myoho Renge Kyo. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Namu 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 Myoho Renge Kyo. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Namu 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 Myoho Renge Kyo. Oh, Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Whew. Thank you all so very much. Now I'll have a brief intermission. Can you tell something got in my throat today? Oh, again, my apologies for all those fits and starts. As you all well know, that's part of Gongyo, and I'm not accustomed to doing it that slowly, which always adds a degree of difficulty. One thing I hope that you noticed during the Daimoku, I want to keep these videos at a reasonable length, so I only did about 15 minutes of Daimoku. You're free to do more before this podcast comes on, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. Man, really struggling with a rough throat. I had a really... It's dry. The dryness is setting in here in winter, and the heating starts up, and that dries us out. So I apologize for all that, but as I say, that's the nature of doing Gongyo. We work out a lot of kinks and karma while we're reciting. It's just the nature of it. I'm alone here. I don't have an assistant, nobody to keep beat on the drum. Nobody to fill in when I breathe, because I need to breathe, etc., etc. What I try to do during the Daimoku is keep the characters and the rhythm of the Daimoku going as I inhale, so that when I breathe out again, I'm on the beat, so I don't disturb your Daimoku. That's always annoyed me when, especially, and that's the nature of recorded stuff, right? When there's no one keeping the beat or keeping the Daimoku going, and you hesitate, everybody has to stop and wonder where you are when you restart, and that's a hassle. So I'm trying. I hope you picked up on that, and I hope that helped. I will continue to do that, and hopefully with a healthier throat. This is probably karma from making this cause, actually, along with all the other factors. I have been in discussion with some of you regarding doing this live. There's a certain equipment cost and setup. For instance, I'm going to need a lavalier to do this properly. Moving this one microphone back and forth is not terribly efficient, and I have no guarantee that I have it in a good spot right now. Hopefully you can all hear me well, even as I clear my throat. Come on, Mike, move over there. All right, so enough on the technical matters. We are over 800 strong on subscriptions on this channel, to which huge thanks to all of you. This channel will not get monetized until we have at least 1,000. So I'm hoping we keep growing slowly, and that's great. And I don't want people to become subscribers just because it's a thing to do. I'm fine with it being slow because I think all of you are sincere and practicing. So I don't, I'm not in that race to YouTube stardom by far. Um, but all of that is to say that there's a financial component to keeping this going and to growing it. And we have, over the last couple of years, we've gotten better equipment, better miking, better computer interfaces, that sort of thing. Every cent, outside of buying medications and doctor visits and those kind of things, every penny I sink into this channel and this practice. This is the school. As it is. I occasionally get people who come here in person, and that's wonderful. But it's sporadic, whereas this is a real steady, and it's great for me to keep my practice strong, but certainly it is the purpose of my life and this school to transmit correctly the teachings of Shakyamuni Buddha, along with our contemporary teacher for our time, Nichiren's doctrine of the Lotus Sutra practice. So I appreciate you being here. I appreciate in whatever form you can follow along with the Gongyo. Let me know, by the way, if you think I'm doing it too slow, perhaps. But I don't want to race through it because pronunciation is key. I just need to do something about my throat. Maybe better beverages at hand. So today, I'm going to talk a bit, and I'm going to start on, if you'll recall the last couple of videos, I talked about 5 different sutras and commentaries to choose from. And I decided that we're going to talk about all 5, and once we get done with those, we'll keep replacing the ones we finish with new ones. So there'll always be 5 we'll be rotating through. Maybe it should be 3. I don't know. A lot of 3s, 5s, 7s, and 9s in Buddhism, right? Prime numbers? Anyway. So this week, I'm going to speak briefly on the perfection of wisdom in 8,000 lines. More of you have asked about Nagarjuna and perfection of wisdom, although technically speaking, even though Nagarjuna spoke a lot on the perfection of wisdom, this was prior to Nagarjuna. And the perfection of wisdom sutras, which are a group, appear around 100 BC and are popular right through Nagarjuna into 100 and 200 AD. So, Edward Conze is a world-renowned expert on the perfection of wisdom. And what I decided to do is I'll just start from chapter 1. And keep in mind, as I always say, there's a cultural bias in all of these. These translators are amazing academic scholars, but they are a result of their own culture. So they'll push words into here that aren't not necessarily appropriate to Buddhism, but it's the way they understand how to express the translation. Words like faith or Lord, those kind of things, aren't really appropriate. Those are Western terms. And I'll try to catch those along the way, but just so you understand, caveat said. Homage to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Thereupon the Lord, in order to gladden the 4 assemblies and to further lighten up this perfection of wisdom, preached at that time the following verses. Call forth as much as you can of love, of respect, of conviction. Remove the obstructing defilements and clear away your taints. Listen to the perfect wisdom of the gentle Buddhas, taught for the weal of the world, for heroic spirits intended. So that's the first admonition, or the preliminary admonition. When he talks about defilements, think earthly desires, think attachment, think about the samsaric condition of me, I, possess, mine, right? This energetic glue that keeps us fixated on the assemblage, as it were, of what we create our identity from. Those are defilements. Why are they defilements? Because they take us away from our perfect wisdom, our Buddha mind, our clarity of the entire process and how delightful and amazing it is, rather than being attached to any one or many things that drag us down into emotions, feelings, and constant anxiety and stress. Those are defilements, right? And clear away all your taints. Giggle, giggle, I know. But obviously that means that your flaws, which are also those attachments, right? So clear them away. It's an easy thing, right? Remove the obstructing defilements. See, that's the key word there, obstruction. What are they obstructing you from? Buddha, clarity, freedom, real freedom. The rivers all in this rose apple island, which cause the flowers to grow, the fruits, the herbs and trees, they all derive from the might of the king of the Nagas, from the dragon residence in Lake Anopatapata, his magical power. Just so, whatever dharmas the Jina's disciples establish, whatever they teach, whatever adroitly explained, concerning the work of the holy, which leads to the fullness of bliss, the holy in this case would be Shakyamuni Buddha, and also the fruit of this work, it is the Tathagata's doing, right? The Tathagata being the thus come one, the Buddha-ness of Shakyamuni. What a day. For whatever the Jina has taught, the guide to the Dharma, his pupils, if genuine, have well been trained in it. From direct experience derived from their training, they teach it. Their teaching stems but from the might of the Buddhas and not their own power. So this again will be familiar to you in a different wording. When you try to teach or help someone else understand Shakyamuni's Buddhism, Lotus Sutra practice, Nichiren's doctrine. Remember, we're earthly beings, so we're attached to everything. And the greatest fear all of us have is when we talk to somebody that we're responsible for the way they understand Buddhism. And therefore, that stifles us. We're worried about what we're going to say. I don't know what to say. I don't know if I'm going to say it right. I don't know enough about this to tell anyone about it. Right? All of us have dealt with that. At some point in your practice, you'll come to realize that here's something that I do a lot, and maybe you do as well. When I'm done talking to somebody who maybe is very interested in Buddhism, and I go on and on and on, and not me. I'm a man of few words. What do you mean, on and on? At any rate, I I so enjoy the spark, the light, the insight that I get from hearing my own words about Buddhism. That I just go. Right? That's how I do all these videos. There's nothing scripted or anything. I just start. And it's so powerful to me because at some point, and I have doubts about it occasionally, but at some point I thought, whatever it is that spills out of my mouth about when I speak to others about Buddhism, it may not be the best presentation. I may think afterward, oh gosh, I can't believe I said those things. Or why did I say it that way? That's just bizarre. And that's okay. We have to address and admonish and observe ourselves, and maybe there's bad habits that we need to stop doing, and that's all well and good. But at some point, it's your enthusiasm that comes across. It's your depth of resolve that comes across. And the words the words that come from you are one part the words they need to hear from you specifically. From somebody else, they wouldn't mean the same thing. So they're involved in their listening to your words. They're helping your words and sentences and thoughts form, whether you know them deeply or not. Your words are shaped by their presence, their listening. You know this. You talk to some people far differently than you talk to others. Is that because you're facetious? You're trying to trip them? Certainly, that may happen in normal, everyday, right? Samsara is like that. That's the world of anger, manipulation, and really an agenda outside the genuine connection. I so apologize for my throat today. But at any rate, all of this is to say that this is why we're told, you should tell other people about Buddhism to the best of your ability. In other words, take the load off. You don't have to be Buddha right now. In fact, if you want to be Buddha right now, get somebody to chant with you, and both of you will be Buddha right now. Whether the person understands what's happening to them or not, they will know something happened. They will know. It may shake them up. But it's not your doing. It's their Buddha doing. So this is what this statement is saying. His pupils, if genuine, have well trained in it. You and I, if we're sincere and our resolve is intact, then from direct experience derived from their training, they teach it. Right? That's our enthusiasm. Man, you wouldn't believe what this week has been for me. And I've been chanting and doing Gongyo, and my whole world has changed. Well, that means a lot to you. It may not to everyone else, but your conviction, your evidence of change, your resolve, that's going to come through. That doesn't take words. It takes a sense of Buddha-ness, a sense of this practice being earth-shattering, moving the ground from beneath you. That's a very powerful thing. When you hear a singer singing a lament or a joyous song, and especially with a video, if you see the anguish on their face or tears come from their eye, you hear it in their voice, aren't you stirred? You may not even know what the song's about, but in your gut, you feel it. That's what we transmit. That's what the life condition of a monk is, a student is. This practice, it weaves it into your being. Their teaching stems but from the might of the Buddhas and not from their own power. So when you teach others, when you tell them about what you're doing, you're teaching them because your Buddha is transmitting into their lives. That's the powerful aspect. All you need to do when you teach others is actually consider them. Consider their Buddha-ness. Speak to that. Right? It doesn't matter that you don't know everything about Buddhism. You do know everything about Buddhism. Everything about Buddhism is that sense of Buddha. That's all you need to know. And that is what you transmit to others. Oh my goodness, I'm falling apart today. Does that make sense? So here we are with this thousands of year old document, and we're talking about that. We'll go a little bit further. Where are we time-wise? Yeah, we're already over an hour. So let's just read the next. Oof, the next one's long. The basic teachings. Let's just go through that. No wisdom can we get hold of, no highest perfection, no bodhisattva, no thought of enlightenment either. When told of this, if not bewildered and in no way anxious, a bodhisattva courses in the well-gone's wisdom. Now, this is archaic, right? In form, in feeling, will, perception, and awareness, nowhere in them they find a place to rest on. Without a home, they wander. Dharmas never hold them, nor do they grasp at them. The jhanas bodhi, they are bound to gain. The wanderer, Sarnika, in his gnosis of the truth, could find no basis, though the skandhas had not been undone. Just so the bodhisattva, when he comprehends the dharmas, as he should, does not retire into blessed rest. In wisdom, then he dwells. So, again, this is archaic English, right? And translation. But this is about seeking liberation, the Buddha way, and the difficulties of letting go of samsara. I think we've covered a lot today. I'm going to rest there, and we'll pick that up next time. Actually, next time we'll probably start on another, this is another aspect of the Perfection of Wisdom Sutras, the Diamond Sutra, also called the Perfection of Wisdom. It's a little easier to read. Maybe we'll do that next time, or maybe we'll just do something totally different, like the Virmalakirti or the Lankavatara. We'll see. I'll play it by ear. I'll let my Buddha-ness direct me. Hopefully. Thank you for joining me today. Give me your comments, what you think. Should we hold off on doing this until I can get a live setup? Should I speed up the Gongyo? Should I slow it down? If you want more Daimoku, I want to keep these videos at somewhat of a reasonable length. So I appreciate that you want more Daimoku, but please feel free to do 15, 20, 30 minutes on your own before you start the podcast, so that you can have that last 15 minutes or so to join in. And I will see you in the next one, next Sunday. In the meantime, I'll make more videos. You can be sure. It's hard for me to keep quiet. See, hear that throat? I'm not stopping. All right. Thank you so much for your participation, your support. If we get enough shared subscriptions here, and we can actually move into the domain of the pennies from YouTube, It'd be nice to build that up so that we can afford the equipment to do a live broadcast. That might be fun to play with, not only for Gongyos, but maybe Q&As every now and again. I'm not sure how all of that will work out. I really want to dedicate everything to our study and our practice. So keep on going. You're doing an amazing job. I'm very thankful for all of you. And take care of your health. We got a new variant out now, the Omicron, whatever. Sounds like a robot from outer space. We've got to control this thing and keep ourselves and the people we know from getting sick, going to the hospital, and perhaps even extinction. We don't want that. So, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Be kind, be healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.